Nathan, this must be one of the most popular cars in the United States.
Folks, you're looking at the 2013 Honda Accord Sport, and nobody's received so many requests as we have specifically from you to review one car.
So we were going to do it later, but we're going to do it now. And the best thing about this car, Nathan?
6-speed manual transmission, baby.
That's right. 2013 Honda Accord Sport MT review coming up next on the Fast Lane Car. To me, the Honda Accord, at least looks-wise, has always been like that kind of smart, somewhat cute girl that you see and you think to yourself, she's nice, and then one day you see her in the right light and you say to yourself, I'd do that. Well, that's the way. And then one day you see her in the right light and you think to yourself, you know, I could bring her home to my mom. And Honda has those kind of looks that grow on you over time. At first they're kind of, well, mundane, but over time you start to see the different angles, you start to appreciate the crafted wheels, you see the intricate headlights, and you think to yourself, you know, that's a good looking car. I'd buy it.
Aha! But there's one major thing. Look at the back of the Honda Accord. It looks exactly like the Hyundai Genesis sedan. Right there, baby.
So would you slap it, Nathan?
It's a Honda, so I'll give it a little slap.
Nathan, recently we had the joy of driving this manual Accord 0 to 60, and as I recall, it was pretty fast.
For a four-cylinder, it did really well, especially in a heavy car.
Yeah, let's roll that video and show it. All right, guys, 0 to 60. I've got the 6-speed and I've got the slow DL set up, so here we go. All right, it feels good. 7,000 RPM is red line, and here comes 60 now. Come on! Oh yeah, hit the red limiter. My man is walking. 8.79, 8.79, not even close. Yeah, that's amazing up here, and people always are kind of curious as to why our times are so slow. Nathan, why are they so slow?
Guys, air density is different a mile above sea level, and we're over a mile above sea level. The reality is that the car is trying to take that oxygen, and it's thin, and they're trying to claw away at it and make horsepower, and it's having a hard time doing it.
Another way to look at it would be, imagine if you just lopped off one cylinder. How fast would the car go from 0 to 60? And that is a reality of driving them up here at elevation. And the reason we do it up here, Nathan, is because, well,
if they do well up here, then they're going to do really well where you are. When you look at interiors, one of the first things that stands out when you're looking at a decent interior is gaps, panel gaps. And Honda has always been like right there with some of the best automakers on the planet when it comes to interiors. I know what you're thinking. You're looking at the interior going, oh, it's kind of boring. Yeah, it's not that interesting, but you know what? It's high quality, it's well put together. And whenever I reach around, that's one of the first things I do when I'm inside of a vehicle trying to figure out what's, quality. Everything I touch feels good. Another thing about it is, despite the fact that this is a car that anybody can afford, I challenge you to find another automaker that makes materials as good as Honda's.
Nathan, once upon a time, growing up, I had a friend whose parents did nothing but purchase Accords. And I am not joking. Do you remember this? The very first Accord was about the size of today's Honda Fit.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, you know what? My spouse had a Honda Accord, one of the really, really old ones, and it was tiny inside.
I think everybody in America has had a Honda Accord, and this one by far is the roomiest and the biggest. I mean, we are too big would be an understatement.
Chunky with me, and you know what? I fit behind myself.
Yeah, and I fit behind you as well because you were driving this. Tons of room. This is no longer a small, medium sedan. This is a full-size American. Would you go as far as saying double XL?
I'd say single XL.
Single XL, which means the next one's going to be double XL. Okay, Nathan, besides the fact that this has one of the shortest throw 6-speed transmissions in a family sedan, what I love about this car is that it has a smooth ride, and yet when the road turns twisty, you can really get into your kind of inner Michael Schumacher. I mean, it really does handle well.
Yeah, I've driven almost every type of Accord, and this one is one of my favorites because it's a little playful, which is kind of weird for Honda. They're really somber about what they do. You know, I just recently drove the Cross Tour, which is exactly the opposite of this car. It sits higher, it's got a big V6, it's heavier, so around corners it doesn't quite have the spunky character that this one does.
Yeah, and you know, it belies the fact that it's a 4-cylinder engine. You know, it almost feels like a 6. I mean, this thing really does rev, and of course, and you can hear it there, of course Hondas love to rev, and this is no exception. That's, look at that, that is 7,000 RPM and I'm still accelerating. It's just a joy to drive fast.
Honda, you need to make more cars like this.
Yeah. Honda, here's a suggestion. Take the CRZ and take the engine out of the old RDX, you know, the turbocharged one.
Oh, yeah.
And put it in the CRZ.
There you go.
Lose the battery.
Get rid of it.
Put this transmission into it, and you've got yourself really what used to be a
X?
Yeah, the old CRX SI, actually.
Yeah, sporty one.
That would be my suggestion, just, you know, from Colorado.
You had one, right?
I had one. I had a banana yellow one. It was so much fun to drive.
I had a red one.
And this one actually, you know, feels a little bit like that. I mean, it's a lot bigger, it's a lot heavier. It's just a family sedan, but nevertheless, it's got that kind of DNA in it. You know, Nathan, that display is pretty handy. It tells you exactly what kind of mileage we're getting. What are we getting, dude?
Currently, we're getting 28 miles per gallon, but our previous average miles per gallon was 34.5, and that's friggin' impressive.
That's real world driving, guys. That is the upside of a 4-cylinder.
Yeah. Now, granted, if the two gorillas here had a chance to drive this thing, let's say for the past 3 or 4 days, all the time, it'd probably be more like 22 miles per gallon.
Oh no, come on, Nathan. We're like little girls. We're so gentle on the accelerator.
Little girls, yeah.
Yeah, little girls.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, with big egos.
Yes. I definitely give credit to Honda for building a vehicle that is fun to drive while it's still being very sober.
All right, dude, here we go. On the TFL scale of buy it, lease it, rent it, or forget it, what do you give the brand new Honda Accord Sport?
With the manual, I give it a buy it. Without the manual, I'd say lease it.
I'm exactly on the same page. I think this manual is a joy. I think when you put this thing and add a CVT into it, yeah, I know it's a good CVT. I know it can emulate this, but why would you want to emulate it? It's like buying a copy of a copy. Just buy the damn thing for real.
Yeah. Buy the damn thing for real.
As always, this is Roman.
And Nathan.
Saying so long for now, and see you next time with the Fast Lane Car. Ciao.
When you look at interiors, one of the first things that my tongue was thinking about. God, these drugs. Please try that again. You realize you're asking a Jew to do this. That's not good. Okay.